Wow, this thing feels solid. Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Chuck, KK6USY, and this is Ham Radio Adventures. Now today, I've got something a little different for you. It's not really ham radio, but it is for me because I love to camp and overland and stuff like that. So today, we're gonna look at a ICECO JP42 Pro. Pretty nice setup, and I think you guys are gonna really like it. Okay, I've been getting a lot of vendors coming to me, want me to do videos for their products and stuff like that. I will look at what their product is, and what I will do is go and investigate their company and see what they have to offer. Now, when ICECO got a hold of me and asked me to do a video in return for one of their refrigerators, I already knew who they were. Didn't know a ton about them, but I did go check them out. They seem like a pretty reputable company. They basically have sold over 2 million products worldwide, and that's a pretty good thing. And the difference about them and some of the other fridges I've seen in the past on like Amazon is they actually have a store. They sell a lot of camping equipment like tents, chairs, stoves, plus the refrigerators, which is their big item. And they are priced somewhere between those cheaper Amazon ones and those more expensive big name overlanding ones, like, you know, you guys know which ones I'm talking about. We're going to unbox it. I don't usually unbox it, but for something like this, it's pretty important that it's boxed well, so it gets you in good shape. Let's get on with that part of it. Let's just open this thing up. Now, I will say it came in a package very well. I have one little spot here from probably somebody picking it up, and they probably picked it up by these, and it did crush the back box here a little bit, but I don't think there's any problem. And it did have one more strap around this way. Okay, I did take that one off. Oh, wow. This is pretty nice. Some nice foam. We're just going to throw this stuff off the side for now. I'll clean it up later. I didn't ask for a color, but I got the blue, which, let me show you. It's kind of cool. Now, it's not exactly the same color, but I have just picked up this Blue Eddy. And hopefully this will be good enough to run this thing. I'm pretty sure it is. Like I told you guys before, I researched this a little bit before I said yes, and I do know it'll run on an even smaller one for at least a day, maybe two. It has a plastic bag. It's really nice. Let me see if I can pull this out of here without, oh yeah, it's coming right out. Let me set it down and I'll get rid of the box for you. Make sure there's nothing else. I don't see anything else in the box other than foam. So it's got like 3/4 to 1 inch, probably 1 inch foam all around it, all four sides. So let's get rid of this before I trip on it. All right, there we go. Okay, so not a perfect match to the Blue Eddy, but pretty close. Now what you'll see, and I'll do a walk around of this thing for you guys. Let's do this. This is the front of the refrigerator. That's always a good, cool thing. You have your controls here. There's a handle up here. Now, we'll talk about the build of this in a minute, but down here is your plug. This is where you plug it in. You have venting. We'll go around the side. You have more venting on the side. That's where the compressor is. Pretty heavy-duty looking hinge up here. The logo. And then what's different about this refrigerator freezer is also an ice chest. And it has this nice little drain plug. Now, most of them, you could do this anyhow, but it's kind of nice to have the drain plug. And then we go around the other side here. And this is what I would kind of call the working end. The front has your hold down straps here. Has two cup holders on top up here. A little place here, maybe you could put change. I think it's just a little bit small for like a phone or something, unless you have a smaller phone. And then this opens up. It has the information right there. Hopefully you can see that. Another logo. That might be a light, I'm not sure. We'll check that later. Has this little rack here, this rack for putting stuff, and what I usually put up here is like cheeses, you know, things I don't want to get in the bottom and get crushed. And then we'll just take that out real quick. Now I told you guys you could use put water in. I've heard people say this. I haven't read the instructions yet. Okay, I just opened this thing up, but this is a high water mark. You don't want to get any higher than this. And if I was putting ice in, I would keep it probably below the bottom of the sticker personally, because you can get water into the electronics if you're not careful, if you tip it or something like that. Okay, so I would just be careful of that. And this it looks like this. If you don't want it over there, I would probably put it there because you have the little ledge there anyhow. But you could put it anywhere in here. All right. It has a really nice seal. Now, I just, when I push this thing down, you can hear the air go out. It's like, I would say, pretty close to airtight. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but I'll push it down when I pull this. I'll be real quiet. Let me get close to it here. I could hear it then, and you can hear the air going out of it. So pretty airtight. Oh, and we've got some stuff inside. I'm just going to kind of tear this open for now. Let me set this stuff down for a second. All right, so it came with some of this stuff to keep things dry inside. A couple of those. That's pretty typical. Throw that stuff away. Everything seemed to be packed. Now it has this little tray, and everything was kind of in the tray, and it was taped down. So let's get rid of this bag too. Okay, so it comes with this is what they call a 3-in-1 fridge freezer ice chest. So it can be used as a refrigerator. It goes from 0 to 50 Fahrenheit, so it'll freeze. 12 volt is its main purpose, but it'll also run on a 120 block here that goes down to 12 volts. Now, it also comes with a power cord that goes into this. And then this is the power cord that you'll use most of the time in your vehicle. It plugs into your 12 volt. Hopefully you have a good 12 volt. You might want to put a better one in than your cigarette lighter. Sometimes the ones for power points in your car have a little better wire to them. But I would just check that out first too. Has a plug here. Let's look at a few of the things it came with. Like I said, it has an instruction booklet here, and I'll try to get some close-ups of the instructions. It looks pretty good, pretty nice. Looks like a pretty good instruction booklet. Okay, so it comes with a power cord. Now this power cord, one of the things I always worried about with the power cords is if you're going down the road, is it gonna, shake? Because I go on some pretty rough roads. Is it gonna come out? I guarantee this one, unless it loosens up in the future, it's not gonna come loose. It's actually pretty hard to put in. So I wouldn't worry about that. And then you have your 120, 110 hookup. This one you actually have to use this cord plugged in. I've seen other ones where it has this fitting on this part instead of that. And if it becomes a problem, that way you don't have to use two cords. But if it ends up being a problem, I'll change it. This is called the JP42 Pro series, 44.3 quarts. Now this is a 3-in-1 12 volt fridge freezer ice chest. Like we mentioned before, this is a Rotocast. I'll tell you, this is one of the most solid 12 volt fridges I've ever seen. This is Rotocast. Think Yeti. Those Yeti type ice chests are Rotocast. So pretty solid, guys. Now it comes in 3 colors. It comes in white, khaki, and the blue. They're all the same, it's just different colors. And it's supposed to be a UV resistant finish on it also. And I've seen reviews where guys have put them out in the sun and they've held up. Personally, I wouldn't leave mine in the sun all the time, but and when I camp, I always put mine in the shade, and it'll cool better, guys. Now this refrigerator will go from 0 to 50 degrees. I think it was 0 to 50 Fahrenheit. So it will act as a freezer also, or a fridge, or the ice chest like we talked about before. Okay, it's powered by a SECOP, SECOP 12 volt compressor. That is supposed to be one of the best ones out there, and probably not what you're getting in the less expensive ones that you find on Amazon a lot of times. I don't know for sure, but this is supposed to be pretty good. It's got a 5-year warranty. It's made in Germany. All their refrigerators, freezers have that compressor in them. The compressor comes with a 5-year warranty, and it's a 1-year warranty on everything else. The nice thing, like I said earlier, they actually do have a store. Some of the other ones, you're lucky to find anything on the internet about them other than reviews. So it's a little bit heavier than probably most of your 12-volt fridge freezer combos because of the roto molding. It's a little bit heavier duty, a little more solid, but it does weigh about just under 50 pounds. I think it's 49.9 pounds was the total, and that's still not too bad. Now you might say 44 quarts not that big, but what you got to remember is there's no ice in this. It's just refrigerator space. So you're not taking up a bunch of your room with ice jugs. Like in my ice chest, I take ice jugs to make it last longer. And that takes up a lot of space. So you don't need as big of a fridge as you would an ice chest. This does offer a 3 battery protection mode. You have 3 different voltages. Okay, what these fridges usually do is they will cut off if your battery voltage, say you have it plugged into your Jeep or your truck or something like that, it'll cut the fridge off at a preset voltage, and you are able to set that in 3 different settings, and I'll show you that later also. What that does is you come back to your truck, say you're out hiking and stuff, and your fridge cuts off, but your truck still starts, hopefully, okay? And there's 3 different levels of that. Since I'm gonna be running this on an auxiliary battery, I'm not worried about my starting battery. I mean, not from the fridge anyhow. And I will probably set it on to where it goes to its lowest voltage before it cuts off, so my food stays nice and fresh and cold. Okay, it has a max and an eco mode. The max mode runs the compressor at a higher rate, and it will cool things down faster, but it will also, if you're running off battery power, it's gonna run more battery. My plan on this is to start it at my house on 120, get it cold, put it in my truck or my 4Runner, and I would probably run it off the cigarette lighter. I have a nice heavy duty one in my 4Runner, and I run off that. And then when I get to where I'm going, I will hook it to the Blue Eddy. I'll most likely run it on the eco mode, unless I have a problem where it doesn't want to keep up. And then I am also going to try and supply some solar to this into the solar generator. Now, like I told you guys before, we'll get some close-ups of this. I think I already got some. The handles are molded in. The only thing I see is for strapping it down on my 4Runner or my truck, but it would be nice if it had places to tie it down a little farther out. We'll see how this works. I'll set it in my 4Runner and tie it off. Again, it's got the heavy duty. These are just like what comes on the most Rotocast ice chest. It's very popular. I've seen other latches that just click. This actually is probably a little more secure in the long run. And I will say that they sell replacement parts on their website also. That's another good thing about going with a company that's established. The spec on their website says this can tilt at 40 degrees. So there's 90. So somewhere in that 45, a little below 45 degrees, which is important when you get off road and you're doing, like I go rock crawling, and my 4Runner is built for rock crawling. I'm at angles that are probably more than 40, but, or less, I guess it would be less. But only for short times. I think when they say 40 degrees, it can't stay any more than 40 degrees for a long period of time without hurting the compressor. There will be a link from ICECO to go to their website, and I'm not sure yet, but there may actually be some kind of a discount by the time I put this out for you guys. Okay, as you can see right now, I just turned it on. It's showing 57 degrees. Should change in a second here. I'll just make it go work. So I've got it set at 32 degrees. And so it's just showing you where it's at right now. Now to go from max to eco, you just push the button here. It's on max. You can see the little blue light maybe. And now I'm back on eco. Now, most of the time I'm going to run this thing on eco because it seems to keep up with no problem at all. Unless I get in super hot weather maybe. Okay, if you hold these 2 buttons down when it's off, it'll bring this up, and let me do it again. I guess you got to adjust it quicker. So I'm going to go down. Now that setting right there is the lowest voltage that it will turn itself off at, and that's probably where I'll set it because I'm going to be using battery power, not my truck. Now if you're on your car or truck, you might want to do 2 or 3. Just read the manual. So we'll turn it back on. So to adjust the temperature, basically it's push it, and I set it at 32. It didn't freeze anything there. I had a chance the other day to take the 12-volt fridge from ICECO on a little 2-day trip. I was gone roughly 34, almost 40 hours, somewhere in that area. And I will say that the fridge did very well. I ran it off my Blue Eddy, and when I got back home, it had 60% left of the battery, and I only had like 1 hour of solar on it, and that day was kind of overcast and cloudy. I was only getting 30 to 35 watts out of my 60 watt panel. So the Blue Eddy will definitely keep up with this with no problem if you get some decent solar, and if I had a bigger solar panel, it would be even better. Now this 12 volt fridge didn't seem to run as much as other ones that I'd used in the past, and I would think that's probably due to the thick insulation and the Rotomolded construction. This thing is very solid, and you'd have to really do something to it to injure it or dent it or anything like that. And the only drawback I can see of the Rotomolded is it's about 10 pounds heavier than some of their other refrigerators of the same size. But you give up the durability of this. This thing is really solid, guys. Now, it also, I was going to hook it to my Forerunner. For some reason, I had problems with my cigarette lighters, and I didn't have a chance to check it. Probably just a fuse. But I was in a hurry. I didn't have much time. I had to get this video out by today. So it cooled down really, really fast, guys. It just takes hardly any time at all to get this thing cooled down to temperature. I had it set at 32. That was fine. Didn't seem like it was going to freeze anything, or nothing got frozen. It was just a nice temperature. And later on, I'll get a little thermometer and check how close it really is to what it says. Now, the temperatures varied on my trip anywhere from 65 degrees at night, maybe a little colder, and it didn't seem like it only kicked on one time that I heard it at night, so that's pretty good. To like 98 degrees during the day on my travel up there, and that was in my Forerunner. I didn't have AC on in my Forerunner, so it was 98 degrees, so it did a good job. Now, the disclaimer, ICECO did send me this 12 volt fridge in return for a review and a video on it, and that's what I'm doing. All the comments from me are my own. ICECO did not tell me what to say or give me a script, so everything I say here is what I truly think. Now, when I received the refrigerator, the price on it was $569.99, and right now they have I think 16 and 15% off. 16% off the white and the blue, the model that I have, and that price right now is $470.15, and the price of the khaki is $475.15. For some reason, it's a little bit more expensive. Maybe it's a little more popular. All right, hopefully this review and video was helpful to some of you. This thing is a really nice refrigerator. I wouldn't hesitate to buy one myself if I was in the market. I will have a link in the description to their website. You might check it out. They make different ones. If this is not the style that you like, check out their other ones. They make quite a few. They even make small ones that are pretty cool for just throwing in for day trips. So I'm Chuck, KK6USY. This is Ham Radio Adventures. 73 all. Hope to catch you on the airwaves. And hopefully you'll get a new fridge. Maybe an ICECO.